Good morning, sports fans, and welcome to the Fantasy Fallout Podcast. With me, your host, Michael Schussler. It is a beautiful Tuesday morning here in Silver Run, Maryland, just outside the charm city of Baltimore. And it's December 22nd. It's the holiday season, right around the corner. And it's coming. We got a great show for you today. We'll be recapping the Steelers' loss to those Cincinnati Bengals last night on national television. Well, that was a brutal game if you're a Steeler fan. We'll also be doing a little game called the Fantasy Shootout. We got some fantasy point props, and I'll be giving my 3 wishes and holiday hopes for the Christmas season. I'll also have a special guest joining me. I'll bring him in a moment. But first, thank you to our sponsor, Sports Trading Systems, who allow you to trade sports like everyone else trades stocks. Hopefully, any sports traders out there did not take the Pittsburgh Steelers money line or pretty much any bet involving the Steelers last night, as they got smoked in the first half by Ryan Finley and those Cincinnati Bengals. Classic Steelers, not being prepared for a lesser opponent, going out there and getting punched in the mouth and not being able to quite overcome that. You got Juju dancing on center field, only to get knocked out, helmet to the face mask with a fumble right on midfield, right outside where he was doing his dance, 30 minutes prior. Poetic justice? Maybe. I like Juju, but you got to have more than 3 catches for 15 yards if you want to dance on the opponent's midfield logo. But like I said, I have a special guest. You guys know him. You've seen him. He's my younger brother, Zack Schussler. I'll bring him in here to discuss this Steelers Bengals matchup. Zach, how's it going, bro?
Good, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. I mean, it was a good game last night for me. I honestly needed some help from Juju as far as fantasy goes. I needed a Monday Night Miracle. I needed like 36 points from Juju. Clearly that didn't happen, but quite an embarrassing loss for those Pittsburgh Steelers, who have now lost 3 in a row. What did you think? Did you see the game last night?
I did, and I thought that the week prior would be the wake-up call for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You lose 2 in a row after going 11-0, especially, you kind of get smacked in the mouth by Washington, and then the Bills kind of dominate the whole game. I would think Mike Tomlin, being a good coach, would have his team ready. Clearly, that wasn't the case. And on the topic of Juju, being, a college football player, I have teammates that make TikToks and stuff like that. Having fun in the locker room. People are always worried about their swag. It's the new age of football, right? But the TikTok on somebody else's logo, who does that, man? That's such a douchey move. And it's like, why are you going to give other grown men fuel for a game where they are allowed to hit you as hard as they can? I just don't get why you would want to give them the extra fuel. I understand he said he did it because people were trying to tell him not be his creative self or whatever, and he was doing well, I'm going to do me no matter what. Well, you got popped in the mouth, and you're the laughing stock for the entire country on Monday Night Football, so maybe you should rethink it next time, Juju.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And I mean, he's young, he's 24. So, but honestly, that seems a little young to it seems a little old to be doing TikToks. I'm way too old for TikTok, but I feel like 24 at that age is you're still out there TikToking and then getting rocked at midfield, like I mentioned, right where he was doing his TikToks. The TikTok dances haven't really been working out for him. I mean, I guess he's had some serviceable fantasy performances recently, but his team is 0-3. He's not really doing a whole lot to help his team out, to help Big Ben out. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's something that I'll never understand. I get it, him being wanting to be a creative self, but is a TikTok dance even that creative anymore? I mean, who I guess it's not fair for me to say, but
No,
it did not work out.
this is no.
Flat no. But yesterday on the What's on Sports podcast, John Todora, the host, also known as the sports trader, he's a big Pittsburgh Steeler fan. He was talking, and he did a game called "Who Would You Rather Play?" And he brought up the Ravens or the Raiders. Who would you rather play in the postseason? I think we can kind of take the Raiders completely out of this. I'd rather play the Steelers than the Ravens if I'm any team in the NFL, because the Steelers, I mean, let's be honest. I said when they were 11-0 that they were the worst 11-0 team that I had ever seen. When they were 8-0, I was like, this team is, yeah, they're 8-0, but they don't even look that good. They're not beating any really good opponents except for the Ravens, who, to be fair, they did beat twice, although one of those they should have won. Honestly, the Ravens should have won both of those matches. The first time they had over almost 300 yards on the ground and destroyed in time of possession. The second time we were without Lamar Jackson, J.K. Dobbins, Mark Ingram, Mark Andrews, and most of our offense. So the real question is, would you rather play the Steelers or the Ravens? And I got to think I'd rather play the Steelers than just about any. I'd rather play the Steelers than the Bills. I'd probably rather play the Steelers than the Browns, honestly. I mean, the Steelers are one of the least frightening teams in the AFC playoff run to me right now. I mean, they are absolutely abysmal.
Well, let's cool the brakes on the Steelers a little bit. Yes, they looked horrible. But the thing was, Ben was a little careless with the football. That fumbled snap, oh my gosh. Yeah. What even happened? The lineman's like hitting it across. That was terrible. Ben throwing the ball. I mean, the linebacker dropped, I think, 2 picks. Josh Bynes actually had a good game. But Ben was throwing the ball right to Bengals players, and you look at that, and, Ryan Finley took care of the ball. Ryan Finley made more sound decisions than Ben Roethlisberger did. And I just don't know if you can count on that in the playoffs with all of Ben's experience. If Ben takes care of the ball, their defense is so good that 21 points could win the Steelers the game, even in the playoffs. So I think it really is about turnovers. You saw last night, since he's +3 in the turnovers, they end up by 10 points. They had 17 points off of turnovers. There's the game.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You bring up Ryan Finley. I mean, he did take care of the ball. He didn't have any turnovers, but he only threw the ball 13 times. And I guess if you have Ryan Finley, you're trying to protect him. You're not really trying to make him throw the ball nearly as much. But they had, they had over 40 rushing attempts as a team, the Bengals did. And, 2 players with a rushing touchdown. Ryan Finley was one of them. And the Steelers, though, they had, I think less than 25 total rushes. Big Ben threw the ball 38 times for only 170 yards. But see, that's what I mean when I'm not scared of Big Ben right now. Even if he's making good decisions, he's only throwing the ball 5 yards down the field, maybe 10 at the absolute most to Deontay Johnson or Chase Claypool. But everything else he's doing is right in front of him, little dunk and dip passes that do not frighten me, as a defense. So I think he's really going to need to start moving the ball down the field. Maybe they get James Conner back and can start running the ball more. But only 86 total rushing yards for the Steelers. That's just not going to get it done, especially when your quarterback's, throwing the ball 38 times for less than 200 yards.